Hello there and welcome to another episode of COVID-19 Update here in Chatham-Kent, where we talk to different municipal officials, individuals, and organizations that are doing some amazing things as we see the Ontario province opening up in phases. As we're getting into the summer, there's some events that, have been a little sidetracked, but, all is not lost. They've found some new creative ways to bring these events in the comfort of your own home or, virtually. That's the way we're going with these worlds. And one of them is our Relay for Life, which is a big partner that Your TV does here in Chatham-Kent. And unfortunately, they're switching up and doing something different, and they're doing something called the Relay at Home. And I'm happy to have Paula McKinlay, who's the Community Fundraising Specialist for the Canadian Cancer Society. Paula, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Eric.
So I got to ask you, how are you doing in your family during this very interesting time in our community, province, and the whole world for that matter?
Well, I will have to say I've never talked to my brothers so much. I have one in the UK and one in Baltimore, and we are every Saturday morning, the family comes together and we're doing virtual bingo.
That's awesome. I
Yep.
know we got a bingo contingency here, and they're doing it on the radio, and we would do it on Your TV. So virtual bingo, how is that working?
So you know what? I think this household has had lots of wins, but the winning prizes is virtual hugs and kisses from my nephew in the UK.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I hope one day that we can, when this is all said and done, we can have ourselves big welcome homes and hugs for all, which is great. So the Canadian Cancer Society has been doing an amazing event, as we all know, called Relay for Life. It's one of those events that many look forward to as it gets nicer into the summer. COVID's impacted our world with this whole new twist, but let's talk how Relay at Home really came together.
Well, I mean, as everyone, especially all the charities and nonprofits out there, for us with cancer specific, COVID may have put a stop to so many things out there in the world, but cancer diagnosis is not one of them. I mean, daily people are still getting diagnosed and still need our services now more than ever. So, the organization came together and did some brainstorming and quick. It came out quick. I mean, if you think we've been sitting here, 9 weeks, and we've got 20 days till Relay at Home. So it's come quickly. We've had amazing committees in all of Canada come together and really focus in on what we can do. And so it's the brainchild of many people within the organization nationwide, but it's really the strength of the communities that are really going to pull this off.
It's great. And it's not any normal walk. It's obviously a virtual walk. Let's talk how important it is to keep this tradition like Relay alive. It's something that's been ongoing for almost 15, 20 years, probably way before my time for that matter.
So, I mean, Chatham, I believe that the number is 20 years. Relay in Ontario or in Canada has been going on for 21. So, Chatham was at the forefront. They were, they're there since the beginning. So, it is a beloved event, and we don't want people to lose their Relay family. And I mean, it becomes a lifestyle. Relay for Life is a lifestyle. I mean, you've got those that have been with us for decades, and that are passionate about it. And right now, we need those virtual hugs and those virtual comings togethers, and still being passionate about those things we've always supported in the past. And Relay is no different. And so we're looking forward to Relay at Home. Absolutely. Is it going to look different? For sure. But some of the amazing pieces that we've always experienced at Relay for Life that make us unique will continue in this virtual setting.
So everyone knows that in normal Relay for Life, you walk around a lap and you wear costumes. There's different themes. How can someone get a little more creative with a virtual Relay at Home?
So when there's activities you can join in if you're following the Canadian Cancer Society Chatham-Kent Facebook page. The committee's busy doing local features, and they're going to do some things away from the national platform on the June 13th platform to make it local. So there's still going to be survivors that they're being read out. We're still going to do a survivor speech and recognize our survivors, ask them to wear their yellow shirts, share their picture on Facebook. So we'll just have a Congo line online versus who wants to be 6 feet away in that situation. I mean, we need hugs, and this is how we can do it. It's just one of the groups, they're actually, I mean, they'll get tips and tricks on how to, be creative at home and turn it into your own, your home is now your campsite. So, I mean, there's people coming with ideas on setting up tents outside, taking your laptop out there. Now we can do bonfires. We can't do bonfires in the city. So, if, with a bigger event on the school property, so, do a bonfire, do s'mores. But the Relay at Home platform on the 13th will have your survivor lap. There will be survivor speech from across the nation. There'll be luminaries. We're being joined actually by Canadian artists like the Arkells are going to be joining us. And there's more being released every day. But right now, I'll tell you the Arkells are joining us. And for some entertainment, some shout outs. And people need to get updated and get knowledgeable on Canadian trivia, because we're going coast to coast to this entire country. Relay at Home is going to have a massive Canadian trivia component.
This may be the biggest Relay for Life I've ever heard. I'm definitely going to have to keep my eyes on our Facebook page locally here, see what kind of big surprises are coming. Now, as COVID has hit, there's been some challenges all throughout the world, obviously. What have been some of the biggest challenges getting this event together? Obviously, you can't have volunteers shoulder to shoulder. What have you guys been facing?
Challenges. I would say it's the in-person stuff. I mean, we're on the phones and we're calling people. We're sending emails. I mean, people are still working, so trying to get a hold of them and explain what we're talking about, what Relay at Home looks like, and how to be part of it. Those are conversations that are happening with the masses in the community every day. I mean, the tough part is the recruitment part. I'll be honest. It's right now we're reaching out to those that have been part of Relay for so many years, and that's the focus in this tight time frame. It's those new people. It's those new people that may have thought about Relay, but they might not know where to go or what it looks like, or is it even happening? So getting the word out is a big thing right now that we continue to push down the pipe. And like I said, our committee is doing from their own homes everything they possibly can, calling survivors, working with volunteers, getting teams on board, sharing their experiences, and so grateful for them for being on board.
One of my favorite slogans right now is good news stories. There's tons of them going on with negatives turning into a positive. What's been some of the good news stories coming in from virtual Relay at Home?
It's people's creativity. I mean, there's people out there talking about doing neighborhood walks. So getting their neighbors on board instead of their typical family team. They're walking it through the neighborhood, being in, if they have a survivor, with their survivor shirt on, wearing signs of what they're doing leading up to the event, and still keeping within their 6 feet distances, and getting in those into that groove. So it's been fun watching, and the stories that are coming out, especially about how Canadian Cancer Society has been able to support them during their cancer journey or their loved one's cancer journey, and they're just so passionate about continuing to do what they can.
It's going to be something really interesting. I'm very excited to see how this is all going to come together. So thank you to you and your team that have been putting this all together. Paul, is there anything else that you'd like to add as we wrap up?
I mean, the big thing, honestly, is join us. There's no registration fee this year. There's no fundraising minimum. We appreciate and respect that we're in a different world. Join us. There's nothing, holding you back. Take a break from your Netflix and all that, and join us on June 13th from 7 till 9. First time ever, the entire country is coming together at the same time to relay together, and that's monumental.
Yep.
That's what COVID has brought us to, is that we are coming together. There's a positive there. For the first time ever, we're going to be side by side virtually.
After all the hardships we've been done, I always say this as we wrap up, I hope we can have one giant big block party to celebrate our hardships, but this is one better. We're going to have ourselves one big virtual block party to celebrate. So looking forward to the big day.
Thanks, Eric.